What's up, everyone, and welcome to episode 127 of the Chumpcast. Mother Nature barfed snow all over Chicago this weekend, so we're all logged in for an online chat. We talk psychopaths, Mark's attempts at being an adult in the real world, and review the final entry into M Night Shyamalan's superhero trilogy, Glass. You can find us on all social media platforms at the Chumpcast. You can also call or text us at 847-920-6107. If you leave us a good enough message, you might hear your voice on a future episode. If you'd like to support the show, you can find our merch at thechumpcast.com. We always appreciate kind reviews, subscriptions, and ratings on Apple Podcasts. You can also shop on Amazon through our affiliate link at thechumpcast.com/Amazon. Check out patreon.com/thechumpcast for all sorts of bonus content and more goodies. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go watch the super underdog Patriots secure a trip to the Super Bowl for the first time ever.
Game right now.
Same, dude. Fuck you, Smithers.
How is this my fault? You guys are the ones that keep pushing it off.
It's honestly all Burketto's fault, though, because he gamed probably like 20 hours in the last 3 days.
I gamed until 2 p.m. yesterday, and then I was like, "Oh, nice! I'll just go see the movie." Like,
yeah,
there's probably a showing at 2:30 or 3.
Shit.
Nope, 4:30. I was like, "All right."
I literally was in an Xbox party with you, and I'm like, "Hey, when are you going to see this movie?" You're like, "I don't know, probably around noon, 1 o'clock." I'm like,
"Yeah."
Well, you haven't looked at the times or booked your ticket yet. I mean, you have fucking AMC stubs, dude.
That was the easiest thing of all time to do.
Why do you always wait until the last possible minute to watch a movie?
Because I'm a procrastinator. That's plain as simple as that, dude. I am a fucking procrastinator.
Isn't it so much easier to get it out of the way and then you can actually digest the movie?
Nah, man. Straight to the dome. Straight to your ears. Let's go.
All right, let me rephrase that. Have you ever changed your mind after, you go see a movie and you're like, I was kind of lukewarm on that?
Never changed my mind ever. Never, ever.
You're such a child.
That's why Burketto likes glasses, because he honestly hasn't digested it yet. It's still
thought about how stupid it was.
What's the 9-year-old's name? Hitchburn or something?
What's his name?
Hedwig.
She's calling it Pittsburgh. Hedwig, like the owl from Harry Potter.
Yeah, names are never my thing.
What is your thing?
Gaming, man. Just, football.
Okay.
And gaming.
All right,
the kind of guy I am. You know what I mean, man? I wish I could do a better John Gruden impression.
Let me tell a story.
Spider 2, why banana?
So yesterday we're gaming, and I honestly just started playing this COD fucking Battle Royale mode or whatever it is. So I have no idea. I have no idea what I'm doing, and I'm just like that. It was accepted at first, like with Burketto and whatever. They invited me this fucking party, and we were gaming, and then Terry joined.
Terry Greenbeans.
Terry is so fucking intense about this fucking game, and I'm just like, I have no idea what I'm doing. He's like, "Why do you fucking call your coordinates?" Right when I died, I'm like, "Dude, relax, you fucking asshole."
You got shot in the ass. It was amazing.
I got shot. We're on a hill, and I'm hiding behind a rock trying to snipe this dude, and we're all looking at the same fucking team. And I immediately get killed by some team coming up behind me and shooting me in the back. And he just freaks out. He's like, "You should have called out your coordinates when you got shot." I'm like,
"That's amazing. That's Captain Terry Greenbeans for you." Also, right when Mark died, he goes, "Yeah, kill Mark. You're dead. Don't talk. You can't talk anymore."
No, yeah. He's like, "You're dead. Just mute your mic." I'm like,
I loved it. I actually loved it. It was actually hilarious.
Do either of you take anything that seriously? I can't imagine that you do.
100%. I muted Mark on my Xbox.
No, not just games, like literally anything in life.
Oh, no, I take nothing seriously. That's why I take something that's not serious and make it serious. Because I'm a psychopath.
That's a good segue then into this. I threw up a Twitter poll yesterday because I was just wondering. It's blizzarding, and obviously we're on Google Hangouts, so deal with it. Is it a dick move to order delivery when it's absolutely shitting snow all over you?
No.
See, your lack of hesitation makes me wonder if you guys have any empathy whatsoever.
It's a job. They signed up for it.
It's a minimum wage shitty job.
Hey, guess what? Get better at driving. Learn from your mistakes.
Dude, I don't give a fuck. Any teenager these days, they're like, they start going into the workforce at like what, 17, 18 years old. I was fucking caddying at 13 years old.
Father, I need a caddying job. Fuck you, dude. I feel like neither of you ever worked in the service industry.
Dude, I don't give a fuck. You sign up for it. Yeah, take your minimum wage drive.
That's a service, carrying rich people's golf clubs around.
That 100% does not count. I do not count that. And you're both.
Caddying is the worst fucking job of all time. You have to wake up at 4 a.m. to get to the fucking golf course because you have all these old fucks getting there at 7 a.m. for their tee off time. And then you fucking carrying around a dude's bag. And then sometimes you double bag it, meaning you got to carry both dudes' asses fucking bags.
Did you hear that, Brick? Caddying is the only job in the world where you have to wake up early.
Unbelievable. Yo, you want to hear about a bad job? I was a pool attendant for a community pool, and I had to be there at 11 a.m. and no one was there. And if someone was drowning, I didn't have to save them because I wasn't a lifeguard. But I sat there and read Game of Thrones for so many hours, dude. It was so boring. That job's way harder than your caddying job.
You know what happened? He applied for the fucking lifeguard job, and they're like, "All right, we can't give this guy the lifeguard job because he's not going to save shit."
Someone will die.
I'm a hero.
A pool attendant. What the fuck is a pool attendant?
No, there was no lifeguard on duty. There's a sign that says no lifeguard on duty, swim at your own risk. But I just had to be there.
What do you do? Wow. Just fucking walk around the pool twiddling your thumbs, just like okay.
No, I read Game of Thrones. Like I said, I just sat there and read Game of Thrones. There were times where people weren't even in the pool at the location. It was small
back to the question at hand here.
Sorry.
So we got a couple hundred votes on this, so I feel like it's a decent sample size. It's like N greater than 20. And it's pretty split. 47% of people say it's a dick move. 53% of them say, nah, get your burrito. I think that everybody that said, nah, get that burrito is like you two and has never worked in the service industry and is a full-on sociopath and has no empathy for anybody else.
No, that's not true because you give a better tip when it's the snow. That's all that matters.
So you have at least the slightest bit of empathy. I appreciate that. But if somebody was bringing me a burrito and careened into a ditch and fell into a river, I would feel terrible.
I'd feel like, oh, that sucks. But I wouldn't lose sleep over it.
I mean, they should be driving slow as it is. There's snow on the ground.
Okay, I was driving slow last weekend when I got rear-ended. It wasn't my fault, but somebody still hit me.
I have a feeling it really was your fault, and you're just not telling us.
I was literally stopped at a stop sign. Well,
did you accelerate at the right speed, or did you just take your sweet-ass time after you stopped?
Did I accelerate into that stop sign? No.
No, were you just taking your sweet-ass time after you stopped at the stop sign and just slowly going, or it's probably...
You act like there's no traffic in downtown Chicago. I was waiting for traffic to clear on the cross street.
Why do you stop at stop signs? Nobody that drives in Chicago stops at a stop sign.
If you're crossing a busy street, you're crossing, say, Randolph, and you're at a stoplight, you just blow the stoplight?
Yeah.
You are an actual psychopath. I guess that's a good segue into our dumb question for the week, which was, what is the sign of a psychopath? And Darian nailed it because he said, their name is Mark. Mark, you're a fucking psychopath.
Their name is Mark. I am a psychopath. I accept that 100%.
This essentially just devolved into people calling each other psychopaths on our Instagram page, which is fine.
Sister called him a psychopath.
Yeah. Called you a psychopath, which is fair.
I'm a psychopath. I call myself one all the time.
I don't know if you're a psychopath. I think you're just indifferent to the survival of literally anyone but yourself.
You're just a procrastinator, is what you are.
Known procrastinator. True. And indifferent.
We did get a voicemail, though. So let me play this real quick.
I saw the question of the week this week, and I just knew I had to give you a call. It's been a while. I'm sure there's a lot of people going to do the usual putting the ketchup all over the fries like a crazy person. Definitely still a psycho. But I'm going to tell you the king of the condiment crazies. We're at this bar. Late night bar, it's fine. Guy sits down, table next to us, orders a large basket of fries. Nothing wrong with that. It's a limited menu. What are you going to do? But then, when the fries arrive, he's got his beer bar, had those old school ketchup and mustard bottles. You know, the ones that it's just a cylinder and it's got like the real narrow tip for optimum control.
Of course.
The glass ones, right?
Well,
no.
This psychopath proceeds to hold the ketchup bottle in his right hand for the entirety of eating his fries and proceeds to select one fry at a time and slowly put a fine line of ketchup across this fry before eating it, and then proceeding to the next fry, picking up one fry at a time, ketchup, eat. Now, he would put fries down for an occasion to take a sip of his beer, but not once did he let go of the ketchup bottle. And that, my friend, is the king of the condiment crazies.
Sir, I think you just met, I think you met Patrick Mahomes in a bar.
Hannibal fucking Lecter.
You should write a book about that story. That was told very well.
So that reminds me of a few things. Like, first of all, that's our guy Deck. So thanks for calling and leaving a voicemail, Decker. That reminds me of like at the U.S. Open, I think it was, the tennis matches, when that girl was dipping her, what was it, chicken nuggets, like chicken strips into her Coke.
Oh yeah.
And they tracked her down and she's like, yeah, well, I just do it to cool off the chicken and then it tastes good. You, ma'am, should be in prison.
Hey, people put like Coke and like root beer and other different soda pops on top of like ham for like a coating.
That
gives a little sweet.
That's different. You slow cook it with that, and the acid in the breaks it down, and it gives it like a sweet flavor.
Okay.
This has been Ryan's Recipes.
Nice job.
I always love an excuse to play that.
Either way, that reminded me of two things now that you said it, and they're both related to Seinfeld classically.
Hang on,
the girl who's a psychopath who eats her peas one at a time, and Jerry can't stand it, so he breaks up with her.
Full psycho.
And then eating food at the U.S. Open reminded me of George, who had ice cream all over his face, and then his girlfriend saw him on TV as just like a slob. And they're like making fun of him, and then she breaks up with him.
I did see a video, I think Barstool posted it earlier this week, though, of a woman in line at Chipotle, and she got a bowl, and it was literally just beans up to the brim of the cardboard container. That woman is going to murder several people.
Maybe she's making a dish, and she had all the other ingredients. She's like, I just need some beans, and I can only get those pinto beans at Chipotle.
Leave it to you to defend a psychopath.
With rice and stuff. It's probably like $1 to get fresh beans.
Why do you know the price of that? Have you just gotten beans from Chipotle before?
No, I've seen someone get things of rice. So
that might be worse.
Exactly. They were like 2 big old things of rice, and they're like, "Yep, here's some Chipotle rice," and they just make their own stuff. But they discount. It was like $1 or $2 for a big bowl of rice. Weird, right?
Yes, very. We got a couple other submissions here. Taster99, my buddy Travis, says throwing overhand when you're playing bags. We've all had encounters with these people. I know because we did in college. We refer to this as sexual offender overhand.
Is that right?
Generally speaking, yeah. We could just shorten it to diddler overhand, but I think this hammers the point home a little better.
I suppose. Or they just like basketball and they're just dumb and unathletic at bags. You can't be good either. If they're good at it, then they're really psychos. Because then they've been practicing.
That was Joe Collins in college.
Oh, the douche.
Yeah.
Are you considered a psycho if you enjoy soggy cereal?
No.
Depends
That's
on
just
cereal.
a preference.
Because like mini wheats, you need that shit sogged.
True. But
like Cocoa Puffs, like you gotta let the milk suck the chocolate out of the Cocoa Puffs a little bit.
Yeah, going back to the mini wheats brick though, I don't know if you should be letting them sit in the milk that long, because with mini wheats, the key is the frosting on top, and when you let it sit in the milk, the frosting will come off.
That's a good point.
You know?
But then it makes the milk delicious.
I don't know about that. It's better when you're just like licking the mini wheat in your mouth because of the frosting. All right,
no man, just
Mark's a psycho.
No. It's super dry. It dries up your mouth so bad.
Yeah, I'm just like licking. Yeah.
You have to let Captain Crunch get a little soggy, otherwise it's an actual hazard to your mouth.
That's very true. They had jagged edges.
Yeah,
jagged edge throwback. Pissing in the urinal right next to the one I'm using when all the others are free, says Franz Gamby. I don't know if that's psycho. It's just no, that's psycho. That's definitely psycho.
If you're like people from my work, they'll just fucking rip ass next to you in the urinal, and I'm like, dude, why?
We've talked about this before.
Have you ever experienced that? It's the worst thing
100%.
ever. It's like, I don't know if it's just dudes, but they think like when you're at the urinal, there's no rules for fucking releasing flatulence. They're just like, yo, I'm going to rip ass right now.
From some of our female listeners, like, is that a thing? Are you more polite in the bathroom, or do you just let them fly and like high five over the wall of the stall?
I would love to see just like that awkward moment when there's like 10 urinal stalls. Some guy comes up, goes right next to Mark, farts in his face, and then just fucking walks out. Mark would be so pissed. He would be actually like lose his stream. He'd cut his stream off. I'm leaving.
He's probably a nervous peer.
Yeah, it's never like discreet. It's always an aggressive ripping of the ass. They're like, oh, and they like make a sound after it. You know, when guys like grunt after fucking ripping ass. Yeah, I'm like, dude, come on.
If you're gonna be that aggressive about it, you might as well make sure you're sitting on the throne to make sure you don't shit your pants.
I think I just shit myself.
Some people like to live dangerously. They are psychos as well.
2114 says, I eat pizza crust first. It bothers everyone I know. If it's not stuffed crust or like Jet's turbo crust, then yeah, I agree. You're a psycho.
Okay, I got a big lead on this one. I have a friend who only eats the exterior of the pizza and doesn't eat the crust. As in, he only eats the crust pieces, but doesn't eat the crust because he wants a little handle for his pizza. How much do you hate his guts?
Definitely hate his guts, but that's also kind of a power move. Like, I don't care that you want crust. I'm going to waste this crust instead.
Yeah, that's even funnier. You're going to meet this guy at Mass VR next week, actually. Brian Malott. He's a psychopath, if I ever met one.
Is Terry Greenbeans going to be there so I could yell at him?
No. Oh, God damn it. You got to invite him, and he has to be on Mark's team.
Yes.
I'm going to just yell at him because he didn't tell me his coordinates.
Yeah. Terry Greenbeans.
I'm by the wall, goddammit.
Terry Greenbeans is an offensive lineman bear.
All right.
Andy Lavelle from Glitch Up says, drinking OJ after brushing your teeth. Yeah, I don't know anybody that does that, but if you find that person, cuff them.
I'll do it accidentally, but that's, oh yeah, shit, that was a mistake. You know what I mean? But I won't. Yeah, if you do it on purpose, then I can see that being a psycho move.
When's the last time you intentionally drank orange juice that didn't have vodka or champagne in it?
This week. OJ's dope, dude.
You had a glass of OJ?
I don't think I've done that in years.
You're a psychopath.
Really dropping the bar here. All right, last one. Kyle A. Robinson says, anybody who puts pants on and then their socks.
What?
Can I talk about this for a second?
I sometimes grab whatever I see first. I'm like, all right, so like, boom. Got it.
I actually had no idea about this until a couple of years ago. I figured it out. I'm like, wait, I should probably just put my socks on first because then I don't have to lift up the cuff of my pants. I just figured that out a couple of years ago, and it's the greatest thing ever.
This was the day that Mark became a man.
Dumbasses.
Seriously.
That's pretty true. That's true.
You fucking idiot. And this was not a couple years ago. This was like a week and a half ago.
Mark is picking his nose so many times throughout this fucking podcast. I just have the camera right in front of Mark's face.
At least I have the camera on me, dude. Where's your camera?
I'm not trying to have the 10-year challenge get my facial recognition and use it for algorithms, dude. Fuck that.
You're a fucking nerd.
I promise. No one wants to see your face. No one's looking for that.
Hey, you know who's the biggest conspiracy theorist I know? Terry Greenbeans.
Oh.
Terry Greenbeans. He actually doesn't have. He always has the paper on top of the webcam. He doesn't put in he didn't plug in the motion detector for the Xbox because it was always on. He's a big tin hat guy.
See, I know, because my work laptop, I throw a piece of electrical tape over that camera because I never somebody can actually. If they have your IP address, somebody from work can flip and see what you're doing. And I don't need that. I get when you're not using it, you 100% cover that shit up.
Yeah, no, but it goes deeper than that. That's just the standard procedure stuff.
Fair enough. For next week, this is kind of a weird one because tonight, if you're listening to this on January 20th, tonight is the Super Blood Wolf Moon, which is the most absurd fucking thing I've ever heard. So apparently It's a supermoon because the moon is close to Earth. It's a blood moon because we're going to have a total lunar eclipse. And when you have that, like the reflection of the sun turns the moon a little bit red, like a rust color. And it's a wolf moon because that's the Native American name for the first full moon of the year. So it's like they just threw a shitload of adjectives together that don't mean anything. And it was obviously named by a teenage girl who is dramatic about everything.
And she's super into, what was that vampire? Twilight. Yep. Super into Twilight.
So our challenge to you, the listener, is to name a more dramatic moon. Because I don't know that it can be done. Super blood wolf moon.
The crescent moon. The half moon. The no moon. The moon that's out during the day. That's the most fucked up moon ever.
Is there a word for that? Like a name?
That's another thing I figured out a couple of years ago is like I looked up.
Solar eclipse?
It was day out and I looked up and there was the moon. I'm like, wait, the moon and the sun can be out at the same time? And I lost my shit.
Where did you spend the first 25 years of your life? Did your parents lock you in a vault? The fuck is wrong with you?
Why don't we go back to the moon? Let's talk about that.
Let's not.
Seriously, though.
News to us.
I'm cutting you off. Let's talk about some trailers we got this week. The first thing we got is a teaser for the Ghostbusters movie. This is going to be written by Jason Reitman, who is the son of Ivan Reitman, who was the original director. And it's going to bring back the originals, less, obviously, the unfortunately deceased Harold Ramis, who I miss very dearly. Rumor has it that they're going to be training 4 teenagers to take over, 2 boys, 2 girls. I don't know if you guys saw this, but Leslie Jones, she went off on Twitter last night because they said, like, we're going to ignore the reboot from 2016. The people that are making this movie said that. And she went in, she's like, this is sexist and it's this is what happens in a world of Trump. Like, okay. Or maybe the movie you made was bad and people want to ignore it.
Yeah.
100%. That's yikes.
That's a bad look for you, Leslie.
Butthurt.
Yeah, she's
Just
super butthurt.
Just a little butthurt.
She just did this on what, Twitter or something?
Yeah, she did it on Twitter.
Yeah. Your movie was fucking terrible. Regardless of your sexuality, it was fucking horrible.
Let's switch back to the actual headline here, though, which is the Ghostbusters teaser. It doesn't show you anything, but what, are you hung up on the sexuality thing?
Because I don't think it was.
I think you mean gender.
No, I mean
I don't think they were lesbians. Yeah,
she's not a lesbian.
Go on, let's just move on.
Good idea. Do you guys have the same soft spot for this as I do? I know that the first one came out before I was born. I was 3 when the second one came out, but have you guys gone back to watch these?
Hey, fun fact, I refuse to watch Ghostbusters.
Why?
I don't know. There's something about the movies it was never appealing to me. And I just decided, hey, these are some cult following movies I will never watch. And I just haven't. Are they good?
You mean you're scared?
He's scared.
Yeah,
He's
that
scared.
too. I'm a little
Who
scared.
you to call? Ghostbusters.
I love these movies, so eat shit, Mark.
Do they still hold up though? Like if I were to watch it right now, would I be like, hey, that was a good movie? Or do they hold up because you watched it as a kid and thought they were great?
So I feel like I have to recuse myself from that because I obviously have the nostalgia. I go back and watch these all the time. I still think they're funny, but somebody
I like Bill Murray. I think Bill
Yeah.
Murray's funny. Do you like Ghostbusters or Stripes better?
Ooh, yeah,
Stripes
again,
is
nostalgia. I gotta go Ghostbusters.
No way. Stripes is better. Stripes is better. Stripes is hilarious.
I mean, that's
Actually,
your opinion.
super funny. It's tough, but gotta go Stripes. I'm pumped for this new concept. I think that's pretty cool.
Like your opinion, man.
I cut all these drops. I gotta fit them in here somewhere.
Just play Doo-Doo
You
Butt.
are shoehorning.
I can't overuse doo-doo butt. I gotta save that for special occasions.
It's fucking too late. You already did.
All right, let's move on to the next one. This is kind of a teaser too. It's Space Force, which is from the creators of the. Turn your fucking computer volume off, you dingus.
All right. Sorry. I'm getting notifications. I'm very popular.
No, you're not. So Space Force from the creators of The Office, starring
Space
Steve
Force!
Carell. I get the urge that they're just doing this to make fun of how stupid Donald Trump is, and it seems like a long length to go to because it's really not that hard. But if this isn't just like the first 5 seasons of The Office, but in space, people are going to be really pissed.
So it's starring Steve Carell and produced by Steve Carell, correct?
Correct. And word on the street is he's going to make over $1 million per episode of this show.
Yeah, I'd make Space Force 2 if I was making $1 million an episode. I bet you it's going to be funny. Steve Carell is going to be... I'm pumped to see him put his full creative talents into something that's similar to The Office. I'm excited to see what they... Plus, I'm a big sucker for space shit.
He's been doing serious roles for a really long time now, though. I wonder what it's going to be like for him to transition back into comedy.
Once you're funny, you're always funny. That's not
You're
true.
probably
That's
right.
Unfortunate.
I don't know.
He'll be fine.
It's an interesting turn for him to take, I think.
I feel like Steve Carell is more funny from his acting personalities than he is in real life. I feel like if you met him in real life, he wouldn't be funny at all.
I 100% disagree with that, but...
Really?
Okay.
I hate you.
Let's get into the bigger stuff. Spider-Man Far From Home, the trailer released this week. It's coming July 5th. So, initial thoughts on this. I guess
pumped.
Aunt May knows that he's Spider-Man, and now she's encouraging him to be a superhero. That's kind of weird, right?
No, she found that out at the end of...
No, I
last
get
one, right?
that, but like for her to... She's the opposite of this, of Pepper Potts and Tony Stark, where she's like, no, you can't go save the world because I need you. And Aunt May's like, no, take your superhero suit. Does she want him to get killed so she can just go bang Happy Hogan?
Yeah, didn't Uncle Ben just die like a couple of years back?
They don't ever talk about
2
him.
years. Dude, 2 years. That's a long time.
Yeah, dude, you got to move on.
She moved on, for a fact, real quick.
Mark, if you died, I would wait at least 2 weeks to replace you on the podcast.
There would be a new guy named Mike immediately.
And he would have been completely shielded from all adult things until he was 23 years old. All right, what else we got in Spider-Man?
You know the difference between sexuality and gender.
You fucking idiot. Is Zendaya going to be super angsty and suck in this movie too, like she did in the first one?
Zendaya?
Yeah.
100%. 100%. Because that's what they think fucking millennials like, or Gen X like, or whoever their fucking target audience they're trying to.
That's Gen Y now, right? Younger people younger than us.
Yeah.
I did miss Ned, though. Give me more Ned.
Got to be the guy in the chair. Every time I die in COD, I'm always like, all right, guys, I'm the guy in the chair. Let's go. We got all your screens. I'm giving you the coordinates. That's
Call out your coordinates.
That's how you're a team player. Not be dead all the time immediately. You suck ass. Sorry.
All right, let's talk about
I didn't get shot from the back and die immediately, I would have fucking called out my coordinates. But it literally was a couple bullets straight to the back of the head, and I was dead. There was nothing I could do.
Mark is the ultimate excuse guy.
Oh my!
So many excuses, dude.
Know what I'm going to do next game?
There was chips. I was eating chips, and then like my thumb got the grease on it, and like it didn't. I couldn't go right for some reason. I don't know.
I got to be honest. I do not give a flying fuck about your COD games.
It's because you're the biggest noob of them all.
Okay. So let's talk about the villains in Spider-Man. We get our first look at Jake Gyllenhaal. Somehow he doesn't look like a tool in that suit, which is great because that was my biggest fear.
I really like this suit, actually, from what I've seen so far.
Jake Gyllenhaal's the man.
Pretty dope. Yeah, he is great.
So there's some other villains in this too, though. You see Hydro Man. I don't know if they are actually those characters, because if you know anything about the comic books, Mysterio is like, he does illusions. They're not tricks, they're illusions.
Oh my God, we need to queue up Job so bad.
And they do show him in this, like, using magic, what looks like magic, similar to what Doctor Strange does, except instead of the sparkler circles, they're triangles. So I think that's kind of a fake out. So we'll see. But then somebody on Twitter pointed out that one of the boats, when they're in the canal in Venice, it looks like, is named ASM 212, which for some huge nerd somewhere knew that was the first appearance of Hydro Man in Amazing Spider-Man. So maybe it's a reference, maybe it's a misdirect. I don't know.
Don't they have like elementals they do too?
So if it was going to be the elementals, they didn't show all of them. So I don't know. What I want is for them to stop making trailers, because I don't want to know that until I go to see the movie.
I agree.
One trailer is enough for this. I'm already going to go see it. I will probably just put up a trailer embargo. I say that, but I will definitely watch whatever trailer they put out for this.
You're too weak mentally to not see exactly what's going on at all times.
I can't help it, man. I just love Spider-Man. The next important trailer, John Wick 3 Parabellum, coming May 27th. Mark, you did a reaction video. I think Moose was actually the star of that because he showed more emotion than you did.
Yeah, he did.
It was fucking sleeping.
I saw there was a bunch of, you got big lead by IGN because they had a dog trailer. Every single dog was watching the trailer and actually reacting. You had the same exact reactions too. You're like, ooh, oh, ooh.
What other reactions do you want when watching
AKA
a fucking John Wick trailer?
I don't know, not your O face.
How about actually talking about what's happening? Like Morticia Addams coming on screen and telling Keanu how fucked he is because she won't help him.
What?
You didn't even watch the show. You are excluded from this talk because you didn't even watch this trailer. You haven't even seen John Wick 2.
I watched the trailer and I saw John Wick 2. It was amazing.
You didn't. You just told us before. This is Brick lies to our audience all the time. You can't trust him. Absolute psychopath.
That's not true at all, dude. You're
so,
a
Mark,
liar and you're a psychopath.
Let's talk about what actually happened in this. This trailer has everything. He throws a fucking assault rifle at some dude's face.
Amazing.
There's motorcycle sword fights. He kills Boban Marjanovic with a book. Did you guys recognize him? That's a fucking NBA center.
Braun was in this one. Game of Thrones reference. Hell yeah.
I told you to shut up. He kills dudes in New York while riding a horse under the subway.
What a power move.
Halle Berry, I guess. If they fall in love in this, I'm going to be really upset.
They're not going to fall in love. There's no way.
John Wick can't love anybody except for his dead wife and his dog.
Brick wouldn't mind it because he has no idea what John Wick is or who he is.
Keanu Reeves. He's Shane Falco, but for murdering.
Brick was actually rooting for the people who killed John Wick's dog.
False. Don't ever put that shame on me. Never, ever, dude. That's bullshit. I own a dog. You don't even own a dog. You're probably a cat person secretly, you psycho.
Why would I keep that secret if I was a cat person?
Because that's how crazy you are. You can't have people know that you own a cat. That's what the garage is for. You have a bunch of cats in there. You let you go in there and they all ignore you.
If I was a cat person, I probably wouldn't freeze my cats to death in the garage. Most important trailer of the week. The Man Who Killed Hitler and Then the Bigfoot.
What a freaking title. What
is this a
attention
movie?
grab.
Sam Elliott, the guy with the big mustache, and he does Ford commercials, I think. He's the voice. He has one of the most recognizable butter voices ever. He's the star of this, so because apparently he killed Hitler and then Bigfoot. Did you guys watch this trailer?
No.
I don't do trailers.
Okay, except you just said you watched John Wick, whatever.
I do special exceptions for John Wick, my super favorite movie of all time, obviously.
Even though you didn't see John Wick 2. So anyways, Sam Elliott, basically, they find out that he killed Hitler, and Ron Livingston from Office Space is in it, and he's like recruiting Sam Elliott to go kill the Bigfoot, because apparently it carries some super virus that is going to kill humanity if he doesn't kill the Bigfoot first.
Hell yeah. I'm so sold on this. It's a period piece and it's mythical lore. I'm so sold. I don't even need to see the trailer, dude.
So that's the trailers for the week. Let's get into the actual news. In the category of I swear this is a real story, Kevin Hart is going to play the lead in the Monopoly movie that is getting made.
He's going to be the Monopoly man?
I don't know that he's going to be, what is it? What do they call him? Daddy Warbucks?
What a power name, by the way.
Yeah, what is Daddy Warbucks? Is that the
guy with the top hat and the monocle from Monopoly?
That guy's name is Daddy Warbucks?
He has a name? So. I thought he was just Monopoly. I thought that was his name.
I thought he was the Monopoly
Let me
guy.
look this up.
Yeah. No wonder he owns the game, dude. He owns the board.
That's not his name. That's from something else.
Yo, get that Monopoly guy, man. Name is Daddy Warbucks.
That is a better name, though, than Monopoly Man. Let's see. What do we give? Does anybody give a shit about this? Why are they so tapped for ideas? They're just like, what's on my shelf? Oh, Monopoly. I haven't played that game in years because it actually sucks because it takes 1,000,000 years and everybody hates each other.
No, dude, it's just Monopoly's finally got that Monopoly money they're working with. They're just like fucking throwing it around. We need to get a movie going.
That should be a question is, what board game should be a movie? Brick would instantly just say Risk.
Risk, because that's a war movie.
No, I'm going with Checkers.
I'm going with Sorry.
King Me. Let's go.
They could just get James McAvoy screaming at people, King Me.
I would love if Mark's movie was in Canada. Sorry. It'd have to be based in Canada.
We got our first casting news for the Sopranos prequel movie. So the Punisher himself, John Bernthal, is going to play one of the lead roles, as is Vera Farmiga from The Departed and the Conjuring series. Did anybody ask for this movie?
I'll take it.
I'll take it too. There's a lot of other crap that I wouldn't see.
Like the Monopoly movie?
Yep.
Fair enough.
I can't even think of other movies that I don't want to see because I don't care.
Basically any movie that Mark lost a bet and had to go watch.
Oh, I was going to say we should do a little bet here. We should all take a team from the Final Four, and if your team wins, you get to choose the movie for those other two draters to watch. And if the other team wins that we don't pick, we all have to watch.
I like that. I'll take the Patriots.
Okay, Mark, you can go ahead next.
I'll take the Rams.
Chiefs.
Wow. Immediately, Mark loses.
I should take Saints. I think I'm going to go Saints.
Okay.
And now I'm torn. We'll get fuck.
You got to pick right now.
Chiefs.
Pick right now.
Chiefs. Andy Reid, baby. Patrick Mahomes. Let's go.
I can't bet against the Patriots. I've seen it too many times. Okay, so let's talk about Chris McQuarrie, who directed the last 2 Mission Impossible movies. He signed on to do 2 more, and they're doing them back to back. So basically, they're just going to start filming one. It'll probably be like a split like they did with the last Harry Potter movies and whatever, where they just lean into each other like Avengers is doing. So they're going to release them a year after each other. They're aiming for 2021 and 2022, which is right after Tom Cruise releases the bastardized sequel to Top Gun in 2020.
TC having a freaking couple of years here. Not that he hasn't had a couple good ones recently.
But dude, decades.
Anything after Fallout, I'm super sold. That movie was amazing.
It definitely was. I hope they can bring Henry Cavill back somehow.
Yes, dude. I was on my flight back home from Italy, sick.
Ugh.
And I was...
Man, you haven't dropped that in a while.
I know, it's been a while. But I was literally I was in my seat, just like hyped. This person next to me was so pissed. But I was like jacked up for the whole time.
God, I can't imagine sitting next to you on a intercontinental flight where you're getting all hyped up and you can't calm yourself down.
Oh, yeah.
Actual nightmare.
You're probably the worst person to sit next to on an airplane. You probably just fidget the whole time.
100%.
I was perfect.
Just shaking his leg the whole time. Just that one fucking leg. Just like, stop, dude.
Restless leg syndrome is a real disorder.
It is.
All right, guys. Netflix is raising their price by either $1 or $2 a month, depending on your subscription level. Are they getting greedy?
No, I mean, I haven't paid shit. So...
Yeah, I'm fine with it. If they're going to produce better content, I'm fine with it.
So they spent $12 billion in 2018 producing content, and they're projecting for $15 billion in 2019. I would be fine with them scaling that back a little bit and just focusing on a few projects, because they do release a lot of stuff that's bad.
I say take as much shit and throw it against the wall. If it's good, it's good. That's the kind of money they have right now. Hey, everyone else, throw me another $1, and then we'll make even more sweet shit. Okay, sick. That's fine.
I mean, yeah, who the fuck am I to criticize them, because they're obviously killing it right now, but
they're putting out so many juggernaut series. It's amazing. I'm loving it.
They're actually printing money, but this space is going to get really crowded in the next few years with new services like Disney Plus and whatever else comes out. So it'll be interesting to see how they have to pivot to keep up with that. They won't just be the only market leader left.
That's brilliant. Competition. Monopoly. Come on. Let's go.
Speaking of Disney, another Disney live-action remake announced. This one's the Hunchback of Notre Dame, with early rumors that Brick will play the lead.
Awesome. I'm Bastion, or who's the super handsome guy who's an asshole?
No, you're definitely the Hunchback. Actually, they're saying that Josh Gad is going to play the lead, which he obviously has Disney ties. He was Olaf in Frozen,
and he sings, right?
Yeah, he can sing like a motherfucker. He got famous for doing what's the Trey Parker, Matt Stone musical?
Book of Mormon.
There you go. Thank you.
I beat you, Mark.
No, I won.
Oh, that's the delay. I don't know. I won. I'm the best.
Disney's just going to keep doing these because they're literally printing money. So I don't know what to say about it. I didn't give a shit about Hunchback of Notre Dame in the first place. Anytime we talk about our favorite Disney movies, this is never brought up.
Yeah, Esmeralda's like a gypsy.
Give me your tears.
Who's going to play the gypsy? Who's playing the gypsy? Esmeralda.
Who cares? I don't give a shit about this movie.
Nothing. No one comes to mind.
No,
I was going to say Naomi Watts. No, that wouldn't work.
Vanessa Hudgens.
Yeah, sold. Seeing it. I love the movie. Let's go.
Danny DeVito.
If it was Danny DeVito playing the Hunchback, I would actually go see it 100%.
AKA doo-doo butt.
Jason Alexander.
Even better. Yep. Lock it in. Wow. You guys couldn't have sold me more. Let's go. Next.
Okay, that's the news for the week.
Best.
We the best!
Worst.
The worst! She's the worst person in the world. Huge, skank, terrible, but thank you.
Brick, you want to kick this off?
Sure. I will go with the best man alive.
I would hope.
JT. My man JT. Some kids that have like cancer put out a video of them dancing and asking for Justin Timberlake to come hang out with them. And then he just did. And he's the man. And so like he just did it because out of the goodness of his heart and just was hanging out.
Kids with cancer get all the breaks. Nothing?
Yeah, that deserved that long period of silence then. Yeah.
Fair enough. All right, my best man alive is Neil Brennan. So if you don't know who Neil Brennan is, he's one of the funniest comedians out there. He
was one of the writers on the Chappelle Show.
Exactly. That's how he got famous, but now he does a ton of other stuff. He does stand-up. He's got specials and stuff. He was on The Breakfast Club this week with Charlamagne the God, and he's talking about, you know what? I don't need to explain this. Just take a listen.
I don't think people understand what comedy is supposed to do. Like, we will observe things, we'll make fun of things. Did people want us to round up a posse and go arrest R. Kelly? Like, what were we supposed to do? Charlie Chaplin made a movie called The Great Dictator, which was about Hitler. It made fun of Hitler. We made fun of R. Kelly. R. Kelly wanted to fight Dave.
Yeah.
He literally his goons stepped to Dave in Chicago, and Dave's goons intervened, and there was the goons negotiated. So the idea that we somehow normalize this, like we also did a white supremacist sketch. I don't think we normalize white supremacy.
Not at all.
Our job is to poke fun at things, and even if it's bleak, we still poke fun at it. We were trying to humiliate a guy who was known for peeing. It's like insane.
All excellent points. And obviously this is referring to R. Kelly. Everybody's up in arms, which they should be, about R. Kelly being a piece of shit and like a sexual predator. But now people are saying that the Chappelle Show making fun of R. Kelly was normalizing it, and I didn't take that away from that sketch at all.
0%.
Sounds like people who never saw it in the first place.
He made so many good points. Wow, that was actually, and it was funny too. Neil Brennan's actually funny.
He's hilarious.
You should see his stand up 3 mics if you haven't seen it.
Yeah, definitely, and he's a really smart guy. So I love it when he comes on any of these, and he goes on Joe Rogan a lot, and I always listen to those. I skip a lot of Joe Rogan because it's a lot of the same people saying the same shit, but I always listen to Neil Brennan. Mark, who's your best man alive?
Do I just want to do the people that actually didn't post something about the 10-year challenge? Those people are the best people alive.
What are you talking about?
You know what I'm talking about.
I know what the 10-year challenge is, but what are you talking about?
I'm saying the best people alive are the people that didn't do the 10-year challenge, because who the fuck cares?
Okay.
Because who the fuck cares? Hilarious. But also at the same time, dude, tech writers suggest the 10-year challenge may be collecting data for facial recognition algorithms, man. They're out to get you.
Did you actually read that, or did you just read the headline?
I read the headline. That's it.
Okay.
That's zero.
So the actual concern there is that, you know how if somebody goes missing, they do like age progression, like what this person probably looks like now. That's what they're worried about, which makes a lot more sense than whatever nonsense you just spewed.
I don't know. Chris D'Elia was the only one that fucking had the best ones, where he was basically doing it where it was like him side by side with Keanu Reeves, and he's just like, wow, I've really grown in the last 10 years.
Yeah, that was actually great.
He wishes
my friend
he looked
did
like
one
Keanu
of him
Reeves.
and Jason Statham. It's hilarious.
My favorite was one from The Simpsons. Back in like season 1, Waylon Smithers was a black guy. And they just, for whatever reason, just decided they were going to change it and make him a white dude. And that was my favorite 10-year challenge.
That's hilarious. what do you guys think about this 2019 trend that's going off? Unicorn armpit hair. So people are tie-dyeing their armpit hair.
I think this is a really good time for me to take a bathroom break.
Mark, you're a fashion expert.
Like dudes are or girls?
No, girls are. Girls are.
Okay. I mean, the majority of girls usually don't have armpit hair in America. So are they now growing out their armpit hair just to tie-dye it?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. I'm not on board.
Okay.
Great. Thanks for taking a strong stance on that.
Mark is not on board.
You heard it here first. On to the main event. It is our review of Glass. So this is obviously the culmination of M Night Shyamalan's trilogy. It's 35% on Rotten Tomatoes, 79% from fans. Last checked, that was Friday. So let me see if I can pull this up now. I did want to check the IMDb score, though, because that's usually a lot bigger sample size. 7.4. So it's down a little bit, 78% on Rotten Tomatoes. This is written, produced, and directed and acted in by M. Night Shyamalan, who must think he's just the smartest person on the planet. The joke's on us, though. We went to see this piece of shit. Speaking of which, they made this movie for $20 million.
Damn.
That is nothing. They're slated to make 75 in the opening weekend alone.
I believe it. One of the main points was they were supposed to go into the city to have this fucking battle, which never happened.
No, that would have been way too expensive.
The whole thing took place in literally one insane asylum. That was it.
M. Night Shyamalan is a fucking con man. We should have pirated this.
We should.
Y'all a bunch of haters. That was awesome.
Absolutely. So let's talk about the plot. David Dunn, played by Brew Willie, is a vigilante who is kind of strong and can't be hurt. Elijah is Samuel L. Jackson. He's a super genius. He's evil. And James McAvoy is Patricia, and Mary Reynolds and Hedwig and Dennis and Kevin Wendell Crumb and Barry and Orwell and the Beast. They all end up in this same mental institution run by Sarah Paulson's character, whose name I can't remember, and the movie ensues. Mark, the jackness and the cold-blooded murdering.
Ooh. James McAvoy did get pretty ripped for this. I will say, from the initial trailer and some of the teaser photos they put out prior to the trailer releasing, they made him look a lot bigger and more ripped than he actually was in this movie. But other than that, yeah, the special effects with like the vascularity was pretty spot on and great. Other than that, I mean, Bruce Willie, I wish I would have seen him with his shirt off and seen how jacked he was in real life.
He wouldn't even show up to fucking act in this movie. You think he's going to go to the gym to prepare for it?
Don't hate on my man Bruce Willis, dude.
Fuck
he
Bruce
exactly
Willis and fuck you.
Did exactly what he needed to do.
He is the worst superhero suit, too. I mean, yeah, call back to Unbreakable. Yeah. We get it. Like, that was the way you were hiding because you were fucking needed the raincoat because it was storming when you fucking in the last scene or whatever. But get like an actual sick superhero suit or something.
He looks like he's going to flash his dick to a group of people.
He's an old man. Why would he want to have like a spandex super suit, dude? A poncho. He's just an old guy. I'm gonna just old man you to death. You know, that's like he dad strikes you. He's just wearing a poncho. He's just ready for any inclement weather at all times, except for if you're gonna like fight in water. Fighting in water is hilarious to do in a poncho. That's just like sucks. So he's really setting himself up to fail in that regard. But being ready at all times as a dad
he's actually just ready for one type of weather, which is rainy weather.
And he knows it's coming.
Not for a hot day.
Yeah, he's not good for a hot day or a fucking.
You can just take it off. It's a poncho. It's easily storable.
Yeah, but then he's just naked. I'm telling you, dude, he walks around and flashes groups of people is junk.
You're making him out to be more of a psycho than he was because he wasn't psycho.
He's a diddler.
That was the whole. Go ahead.
I don't even know when you're joking nowadays. You're like, yeah,
no, he's not. That was a total joke. Brew Willie, while he did phone it in completely, is not a diddler to my knowledge. Let's talk about the directing and M. Night Shyamalan. I think this is like over the years, I've seen most of his movies and I've always been kind of conflicted. This is the movie that puts me on the side of hating him. This movie is terrible directing. You're not even supposed to notice the way that a movie's directed, but M. Night he's like a kid when he gets a new toy.
Why shouldn't you notice that?
Because you're not supposed to realize when you're watching a movie that you're watching a movie. You're supposed to feel like you're in a situation.
Yeah, and he just makes you feel like you're fucking 3 inches away from somebody's face.
He is like a kid when he gets a new toy. He used the extreme close-up on these actors with their fucking open mouth-breathing idiocy. He used it at every opportunity. He films everything, everything else.
First-person shots.
Everything.
Too,
no, that's not first person.
They did have some first-person shots too, is what I'm saying, and they put you in their shoes more or less, rather than seeing their whole body at all times.
No, dude. If that was first person, then they were sitting 6 inches apart.
No, I'm saying there was also shot in some scenes that they were in first person.
The only way that's possible
not that specific scene.
Okay. Everything else was shot at this tilted Dutch angle, like somebody's just tilting their head to one side. It seems like he thinks that turning a camera upside down makes for interesting cinematography, and I don't know. He's like a child. I don't get it, and he thinks he's a fucking genius.
He's a drug addict, is what he is.
Well, that's extreme. That sounds like my diddler claims.
I'm just kidding.
Was he in the movie?
Yes, he was. He was in the security shop, which is the most obscure callback ever, because in Unbreakable, which, Brick, I know you've never seen, so you shouldn't even be allowed to comment on this movie.
I read some synopsis, and actually Terry Greenbeans told me the premise before I went to go see it. He broke it down pretty good.
So M Night Shyamalan appears in that movie, which made more sense at the time because he was actually just getting started and he probably couldn't pay a bunch of actors. But he's like a drug dealer at the football stadium where
Bruce Willis takes it down.
Security guard.
His first time, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. So like the whole thing is Bruce Willis can like tell what terrible things you've done by bumping into you, and he's the first guy that he figures that out with.
Exactly.
But his cameo in this was so completely useless and throwaway and dumb.
I thought it was funny.
You didn't even know that. You didn't even realize that there was a connection because you didn't see the first one.
No, Terry Greenbeans told me this whole story when we were playing COD.
God, you should just marry Terry Greenbeans because you won't shut up about him.
Did you tell him?
No, I thought it was actually funny. He's like having this discreet conversation with his son, like, yo, I'm going to go for a walk right now. And then his son's like, yo, you probably shouldn't go for a walk right now. And it was like super awkward. And then he just goes, yo, man, let your dad take a walk. Jeez. Well, that was fucking hilarious. It was small little nods like that were actually made the movie. I thought you thought it was useless. I thought it was funny.
Well, your sense of humor is terrible. Mark, what did you think?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I wasn't listening. I lost whatever Brick was saying. Are you talking about the bumping into?
You know what? Let's just move on.
Are you talking about M Night Shyamalan's fucking cameo? The fucking secret surveillance shop? Yeah, it was stupid. It was pointless. But that's most of his cameos in all of his movies are pointless and stupid. So I don't think there's much more.
I would say outside of the directing, Shyamalan has no fucking idea what subtext is. No one can have a thought without totally explaining it through exposition, and no part of the story can take place without Samuel L. Jackson's character having to explain what part of the comic book it would be. I don't need for you to say, this is a showdown. Everyone knows what a showdown is.
Yeah, I could have done without that.
He's such a pretentious douchebag. And not only that, but he kept referring to something as a limited edition. That's not even what that means. He used it wrong. Congrats on ruining 2 other movies with one act in this movie that you put out fucking 20 years later.
I like
you're upset.
Yeah, you are super butthurt about it. Did you really like Split and Unbreakable?
I did. And
What'd you give them? What'd you give those?
I
had to rate them.
Unbreakable is like an 8, and Split was like a 7.5. And this is like a -6.
Okay.
This whole thing is just a money grab. Brick, we talked about this a little before. You shouldn't be able to tell that he started this movie, this trilogy, without knowing that it was going to be a trilogy. And then at the end, you just have to scramble to tie everything together.
It was hard to tie it. Wow, I'm actually pretty flustered at this point from what let's see.
You just have a stroke?
I just had a stroke, dude. Let me drink some water. Good Lord.
The ending was just horrible because, yes, he tried tying in way too much shit, and tying knots and fucking. Also, I don't know if it means at the end he's going to do more movies.
So that's the question
too, which I really hope he's not going to do more movies after this. But it's hard not to talk about this without spoiling it because.
So let's save that. We are going to do spoilers.
The whole third act was fucking terrible. I have so many things I want to talk about, but yeah.
Let's talk for a second about the acting, though, because I think Bruce Willis completely phoned it in. He was just there to get a paycheck. I thought he was fucking terrible.
Yeah. I thought it was just classic Bruce Willis, though. Just he should have not been in there in the first place because he's not really a psychopath. But they like tried to spin it like he was, but at the same time, I don't know, like he stayed in his lane. It's Bruce Willis. He played like a dad.
I feel like you haven't seen a good Bruce Willis movie in a long time because he hasn't made anything good since he did Sin City.
Sin City was awesome. Love that.
And
movie.
That was like a decade ago. Over a decade ago.
I think we can all agree that James McAvoy makes any acting in this movie bearable. But other than that, everyone's performances were fucking below par.
I will 100% give it to James McAvoy on this because he acted his ass off. But given the tone of everybody else in the movie, it felt out of place.
Yeah,
I didn't think that. I didn't think that at all, actually. I thought they played the roles perfectly because, first of all, James McAvoy is a psychopath. That's evident. That's very clear. He's outspoken and he's the Horde. He's 30 people. Samuel L. Jackson, the first 3/4 of the movie, he's acting with just face twitching. He's just facial acting, which I thought was actually pretty good. And if he's so smart and if he's only twitching his face for 99% of the day, he's a psychopath too. Who would do that? You know what I mean? So the acting that James McAvoy did was over the top, but they were both the villains in the movie. They were the craziest psychopaths of them all.
I think you missed the point. Me and Smithers agree James McAvoy's performance was great, but we're basically saying everyone else's performance was garbage. Are you trying to say that
Samuel L. Jackson did really good?
Yeah.
I thought Samuel L. Jackson did a really good job.
Let me interject there because I think Samuel L. Jackson was really good in this. Obviously he disagrees, but like his tone and what he did is take really shitty writing from M Night Shyamalan and do good with it. Like you said, his facial twitches and stuff, that was actually good. And the fact that he could pretend that an actress that is younger than him was his mother was really fucking impressive.
That was actually crazy too. I was like,
his
look
mom
how old
is
Samuel
younger
L.
than him
Jackson
in this
looks.
fucking movie. Oh, Jesus Christ.
That was actually funny though. I was like, this is ridiculous.
Back to McAvoy though, by the 40th time that he just looked into the camera and roared, I could not stop myself from laughing. It was so stupid. And that's not on McAvoy, that's on M. Night for writing this terrible script.
What was your favorite James McAvoy personality?
Mary Reynolds.
Yeah, obviously. Well, Mark is obvious. I kind of like Dennis, the OCD guy who's just a huge weirdo and is really stoic.
I mean, to Dwayne right now. You listen to Dwayne? Dwayne's fucking awesome.
Yeah, that got real old real fast. Let's talk about some of these supporting actors. Bruce Willis's mouth-breathing son from Unbreakable is back in this, except he's not cute anymore and he's just a huge goober.
Oh, this was the best call. You ever see someone in a movie and you're like, holy fuck, I know he's from some fucking old movie I've watched, but who the fuck is he? He's the kid in Gladiator. And I realized the best thing ever. He's Julius Caesar's like nephew or whoever the fuck it is.
He loves.
Oh my God, he's that kid.
He loves Russell Crowe. That did not click for me until just now. And wow, that's amazing, dude.
Yeah, I never would have pulled that. So good job. The only thing I knew him from was Unbreakable, and he was fine in that because he was a little kid. But now it's just terrible. Speaking of terrible, Anya Taylor-Joy is back from Split. They use these extreme close-ups on her, and it makes normal people look really weird, but then it makes her look even weirder. And she's not weird looking, but her eyes, when they do that close wide-angle lens thing, it looks like her eyes are literally on the side of her head. She's a chameleon. I don't understand why you would make that choice as a cinematographer / director, but it was fucking terrible. And she was completely useless to this movie. She had no reason to be there.
Do you think Shyamalan was Shyamalan was actually zooming in on the camera, or was he like putting this camera in their face when he was?
He was
these
100%. He acted as the cameraman in this movie, and he was like, "I'm just going to get 3 inches from your face, and I'm not going to brush my teeth first, so you're going to smell my breath, and that's why you're going to have that shitty look on your face, like someone just farted."
That's a good director.
Yeah, this is great.
All right, let's rate this. Get into spoilers.
Hang on, I got one more thing I want to complain about.
Okay, go ahead.
For a supposed action thriller, the fight scenes in this were fucking terrible. They were atrocious.
Yeah, let's go into spoilers because there's one scene I was like, "What the fuck is this?"
Okay, so all right, go ahead, Mark. Rate it then.
Ooh, I really want to say stream it. I'm gonna say skip it, but obviously, if you're a huge Unbreakable, if you enjoyed Split, you're gonna go see this. So, but wait till it comes out fucking through streaming. So stream it, but I'm gonna go with skip it.
Pirate this shit. Do not give M Night Shyamalan any more of your money. I want to interject before Brick gets to talk. 100% skip this, even if you loved Unbreakable and Split, because this will ruin those 2 movies for you. Absolutely skip this.
And another reason I want to lean towards stream is because I had to witness this and watch this and ruin those past 2 movies for me. So fuck anyone else. You need to watch this and ruin it for yourself as well.
Go ahead, Brick.
You two are the critics giving this the bad score, and critics suck, and you guys are fucking lame. This movie was actually good, and you should definitely see it.
Says the guy.
So go to the theaters and watch it.
Go to the theaters and see it.
You need to get that really close up on IMAX that fucking Shyamalan does.
100%.
So from here on out, we're going to spoil this. I'll throw something in the show notes for a timestamp. Mark, say what you got to say.
No, I'm going to jump way to the end. The whole fucking scene with were they police or were they working for the mental institution? But that whole scene where they have their fucking shields and they're just like fighting them and forcing them into the center. That was the dumbest shit ever. And then he's like throwing them into the car. I don't know, that the whole ending scene with the fucking showdown, quote unquote, was the dumbest shit I've ever experienced.
If you have to tell the audience that this is the climax, you are not doing a good job.
They were not telling you that this is the climax. They were telling you that the big fight in the city was going to be the climax.
No, he literally says, Samuel L. Jackson says, this is what we call in comic books the showdown. No, that's not what you call it in comic books. That's just what it's called.
Either way, you guys thought the action scenes were bad, but I thought it was more about the acting, and I liked what James McAvoy did there. But the action scenes, this movie is supposed to be based in realism. They're supposed to be coming to terms if they're psychopaths or if they're actually superheroes. So you
based
can't,
in realism. James McAvoy has 24 personalities. One of them is diabetic. One of them turns into a literal monster who can crawl on walls. But this is based in reality.
It's supposed to be like they're teetering between their sanities. This guy's a psychopath. That's why all the actual, it's not guy in an Iron Man suit raining bullets down on the Middle East.
So now you're shitting on Marvel movies.
I'm saying it's not that kind of universe.
Brick hates Iron Man.
I'm saying it's not that kind of universe. It's supposed to be based in realism to a certain extent. They're coming to terms in both terms. And I was fine with the way they ended it too. Because where did they want to go with this? You know,
because you never saw Unbreakable.
These 3 characters are fine, but if this was the origin story to a New Mutants, would this be better?
No, because then I would be pissed that they used this shitty story to talk about the New Mutants.
Dude, it was such a cop-out. Shyamalan, I'm really not surprised with that budget because the whole thing was like, oh, we're going to have the showdown in the city at the top of this building. And they just hype up this fucking building the whole time that we only see it on the news screen. And as they're leaving the insane asylum, no, of course they don't get to the city. He's fucking just shooting it in this insane asylum. He's fucking cheap as fuck. He's just going to do all the scenes here and fucking use his measly fucking $20 million budget and not do a sick ass shot at the top of a building and have a real showdown, as he puts it. It was a huge cop out, in my opinion. And it was just like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you're hyping up this big showdown in the city at this fucking building you're talking about. I don't even know what kind of building it was. Whatever the fucking name of the building is, but
it was called Osaka, which was
it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it was
your name.
Osaka building. And I'm like, all right, That whole thing was pointless that you just hyped up for the whole fucking movie.
A misdirect.
And another thing, those fucking cops with
another thing.
Keep going.
The fucking cops with the shields at the end. I hope those were like the main villains, the fucking red-haired girl, her henchmen, because first of all, you have a crazy schizophrenic 25 personality dude who's already just fucking throwing people around and super aggressive. All they want to do is use their shield and batons. Like, do they not have guns on them? Could they not fucking shoot him? Like, that was so fucking stupid. That whole scene. I'm like, what are they doing right now? Like, if this was based in reality, you would fucking shoot that guy and you'd be like, yo, you're done.
They did actually. They shot James McAvoy
at the end, the very end. I'm talking about the scene where they're fucking just using their shields. I'm like, this is the dumbest shit ever.
Okay, I agree, and I hate this movie just like you do, but I feel like they did actually explain that because Sarah Paulson was supposed to be like the last line of defense against just killing them. The whole point of her character, which I fucking hated, by the way, she was terrible. She did a decent job acting, but like the character was just very unlikable. But her whole purpose was to try and convince them that they were crazy so that they didn't have to kill them.
Okay. Whether or not they use a gun or not, I just think the whole using the shield as a barricade and trying to like enclose them into I don't know what they were doing is all I'm saying is like, you could have done this any other way. Like, I don't know. I wasn't sold on it. The
bigger offense there is
the effective strategies of confining two superheroes. Okay.
The bigger offense is that they tried to convince these people that they weren't superheroes when Bruce Willis literally breaks the door down, literally breaks down a steel door, but he's still questioning whether or not he has super strength. Okay.
It's so stupid.
How does that make any fucking sense?
He knew he had super strength.
No, he gets to a point where he's like, oh, maybe I'm just crazy. When the three of them are sitting in the room with Sarah Paulson, he's actually almost convinced.
Yeah, that's what makes the movie good, because you're like, you don't know if he does or not, but
because Bruce Willis is a fucking dumbass and doesn't know that he can bend steel. Like, he just forgot that he could do that.
No, that doesn't matter.
How does that not matter?
Yeah, so he's a superhero, but that's just like a normal. I mean, maybe you just thought you were super strong. Maybe that's not what I'm trying to get at. That's not what I'm trying to get at.
Are you fucking kidding me?
What was your question before? What was your question before?
My question is,
the writing is fucking stupid in this
how
movie.
Can you possibly try and convince Bruce Willis that he doesn't have super strength when he's done things that only a person with super strength can do?
But how does he know he's the only person who can do that?
Because that's the definition of having super strength. Nobody else can go and bend steel bars, and he fucking does.
That just means he's like, but that's the whole point.
Wait a second. Reality to do you think that you have super strength?
I've bent metal before.
Oh my god.
I bent metal before. They were talking about the grades of metal.
I'm gonna calm down now. It's not worth it. God damn it. That's so frustrating trying to have a conversation with you about this movie. Okay, I'm really glad that you actually did like this movie. There's different
grades of metal.
Oh, shut up. I'm trying to tell you that I'm glad that you like this movie so that we can actually have a conversation about it. All right, let's talk about the third act and the way that they ended this. So they introduce whatever this secret society is. And apparently, if you're in this secret society, you immediately recognize everyone in a room that you're in. And whether or not they're in your society or not, because if they leave the restaurant that you're in, everybody just stops talking and then they just start talking about these superheroes because fuck you as the viewer. M Night Shyamalan doesn't give a shit if you have any sort of logic.
It's the mystery about it.
Hey.
Well, that's the other thing is that there's never been in the first 8 acts of these 9 acts, never have they once mentioned this secret society.
I was so confused. He was showing that. Do we know what that tattoo is that he was zooming in on? Like of course,
it's like a 3-leaf clover.
Did that reference Unbreakable or any other movie he's done?
If it did, I didn't remember it
because I completely missed that. I was like looking at the people next to me who seemed like huge Unbreakable fans. They were loving it, and I'm just like, wait, am I supposed to know what that fucking symbol is? Like, what is going on right now? Or did he just make that up on the spot? Like, okay, we're gonna have the secret society in this movie.
He didn't know how to end this trilogy, so he had to bring in, this is the MacGuffin. This is like your Deus Ex Machina, where something comes in and it gets you out of this situation. M. Night Shyamalan wrote himself into a corner with these movies and didn't have a way out.
He wrote himself in a corner. He goes, fuck it, let's just kill everybody.
Yes, exactly. And by the way,
I'm fine with it.
the way that they killed Bruce Willis was fucking terrible.
By the way, where the fuck is his son? His son was just there. And then you were just supposed to think that, oh, now he's getting drowned in this fucking pothole and his son is probably 15 feet away and just letting it happen. Like, what is going on? Where the fuck is his son? His son was literally with him like 2 seconds before that scene happened. Am I right or am I wrong?
You're 100% right. And also, Erica just texted me and said, you're yelling a lot. I can't help it.
Brick, explain that. Where the fuck was his son? Because before that happened, his son was literally by his side and then walked away. And then those guys came and drowned him. Like, what happened? Where did he go?
He was obtained by the super secretive military or whatever.
Okay.
No, he wasn't. After fucking McAvoy was shot, we
I don't know what you're gonna
standing there.
I don't know. There's probably a lot of shit going on. I don't know if you get lost in the shuffle. I'm not going to explain. I don't have to explain every single part of this movie to you.
You do, because nobody else can.
You're nitpicking. You're nitpicking the dumbest things of all time.
So after your dad has the most epic showdown with a fucking schizophrenic 25 personality beast monster.
Your dad's a superhero.
You go,
your dad's a superhero and you're not a superhero. Okay.
You go 10 to him and see how he's doing, but then you just completely forget about him and walk away while he's getting drowned. Like, it's so stupid.
I don't remember where he was in the first place. Like, he was around it. He saw it, but they could have like went in the house because there's a psychopath that is flipping cars over.
M. Night Shyamalan,
he's just a regular guy.
Like, he had an actor for this movie that got a haircut in the middle of shooting, and they don't even like. You just cut back and forth between scenes, and he has totally different hair. He just doesn't give a fuck.
Did that happen?
I don't know, probably. Can we talk about the fact that you could just like Beetlejuice this motherfucker, James McAvoy, and that's how they got Kevin Wendell Crumb to come out? But instead, they built this multi-million-dollar light machine to make him change personalities when all they had to do was say his fucking name.
Would have been crazy if those lights didn't work too, because they just like tried them.
If he was just faking it. That would have been, wow, you did a better job of writing this movie and you spent 30 seconds thinking about it. You did a better job than M. Night Shyamalan did.
Thanks. Let's move on.
Great. I don't have anything else to say about this. I've yelled enough. So speak your piece or shut up about it and let's get to recommendations.
Recommendations.
All right, Brick, go ahead.
2 things. John Glazer loves gear. Glazer loves gear on True TV. It's actually funny. It's from the guy who plays Jeremy Jam on Parks and Rec. He's like this douche and he just goes into how much he loves gear and he just like plays all these sports and it's actually funny. It's like kind of a mockumentary. He goes behind the scenes of like this show that he's actually shooting. It's very funny. It's on True TV. Season 2 just came out. Another one I saw was Last Podcast on the Left came out with an episode just this recently about Joseph Mengele, the World War II Nazi scientist who worked at Auschwitz, who's like,
actual
so it's a super interesting. Yeah, he's like the craziest person of all time, speaking of psychos. So I had to bring this up. The Nazi scientist who did experiments on people. Very
Living
interesting,
people.
Very psycho shit, but they're always good. Last Podcast on the Left.
100% agree. Mark, you got anything?
Yeah, check out Fire. I think it's Fire Fraud. It's on Hulu. It's about the Fire Music Festival that happened but didn't happen. It was pretty much the biggest botch of a festival of all time, and it's a really interesting documentary about this kid who teams up essentially with Ja Rule. He gets funding from a bunch of, they're like venture capitalists or whatever. He's a spoiled ass kid, gets this funding and just has an idea. Hey, I'm going to convince all these people that I'm throwing the biggest music festival ever in the Bahamas.
Oh yeah.
And I'm going to do this within 6 months. And he fails miserably, basically takes all this money from people and says he doesn't know where it is. It's the biggest fucking dickhead of all time. But it's really interesting seeing this guy basically convince all these fucking people that this music festival was happening and just what ensued when all these people went to this festival and realized it was a fucking huge scam. But go check it out. It's on Hulu. And I actually think Netflix has a documentary on it as well. They have 2 documentaries right now.
So Hulu totally big-timed Netflix because they pushed up their release date to release it before Netflix released theirs. So they were just like, eat shit. Here's my power move.
Well, it worked because I watched the Hulu ones. But go check that out. It's a pretty interesting documentary.
Great. So I got 2 for you. I started watching season 2 of The Punisher, and this is one of those where you laugh at how ridiculous John Bernthal is. It's kind of like James McAvoy in Glass, because I love this show unapologetically, but when he just starts yelling as he's killing people, I can't help but laugh. John Bernthal, dude, he's got that guttural yell down to a T. So I'm only 2 episodes into this because surprisingly drunk Erica loves this show too. So we watch it together, obviously, but
Ellie loves this show as well.
Really?
I was super surprised about that. She was so hyped up when I told her season 2 was coming out.
What is it about this show that makes, like, I mean, not that girls wouldn't, but Erica, and I don't think Kelly either, are usually into this type of super hyper violent stuff.
I think it's John Bernthal's character. I think it's John Bernthal acting. Sorry, I'm blanking out. What's the Punisher's real name?
Frank Castle.
Yeah. Okay. I think it's Frank Castle's backstory of the tragic deaths of his family. And then it's also John Bernthal. I think having him, and he plays a really good, like, mysterious type personality guy where he's like, ooh, he's so hardcore and shit, but we don't know much about him. I think those things are really attractive to, I would say, fucking my wife and your fiance. So,
you know what he's really good at is the side eyes, like, darting back and forth, where he's getting really intense and he's looking at you and then he looks away real quick and looks back at you. He's really good at that, and he does it all the fucking time.
A lot of his acting, I noticed that too, is he doesn't really look at the person he's conversing with. He usually looks away, but it works. He does a good job of making you think that he's fully crazy. Yeah. Yep.
All right. My last recommendation, I beat Spider-Man on PS4. I did, like, I 100%ed it, and I did all the DLC too. So I was just kind of like in a game hole. This is my first time owning a PS4, and I was like looking for something to play. Uncharted 4 was on sale on the PlayStation Store for like $16. And I've heard about these games forever and how great they were. So I downloaded it, played it. It's pretty damn good. I've been sucked in for a little while now. I haven't played the first 3. So I'm sure I'll get to that eventually now that I played this one and it's actually good. But it's a lot of heights and climbing. So if that makes you
can go back. I played the first 3. They were incredible. And I didn't really like the 4th one because it became it's super cinematic, beautiful, loved it. It was awesome. But it becomes a little redundant with, like, the climbing and stuff like that. You're just like, ugh. And it's really bad. It gets bad in the earlier ones. This one was brilliantly made though.
Okay.
Last of Us 2 is what you got to play. That's kind of a similar concept, but super cinematic. Awesome. Yeah. Looking forward to that one.
That's on my list too, to go back and download. That was on sale too, the remastered version. All this stuff looks great in 4K. So what was your last recommendation?
True Detective season 3. People forget it's out. Honestly, I had a theory, and I'm pretty sure I super own Mark with it, but I won't get into it. We can talk about that later.
Hold on. What was my theory, Brick?
It was some trash theory, dude. It was so garbage. Mine was lucky because I listened to a murder podcast, and I was like, oh, there's a lot of similarities. Just drew some parallels, and I realized this is definitely the story.
Is it a parallel to the West Memphis 3?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
I've heard that theory as well. I think what we'll do is once we get like halfway through the season, we'll kind of do what we did with Game of Thrones, where we do a check-in. And then once the season wraps, then we can go back and talk about the plot and stuff. So there's something to look forward to.
So because I could super talk about murder podcast shit too. I love it. Let's go. Wait. Also, isn't that Ted Bundy movie coming out soon with Zac Efron?
I think that's the end of the month. I'd have to double check on that though.
I'd be down to see that. But go on.
Okay. We can check on that too. So next week we're going to do Polar. Is it Polar or Arctic? Whatever the Mads Mikkelsen Netflix movie is, it's coming out on Friday. So that's what we're going to do. And until then, obviously you can find us on all social media at the Chumpcast. You can call or text us at 847-920-6107. Thank you very much for the support on Patreon. We really do appreciate that. We're working on some big stuff to come up there, and you'll see a lot more of that soon. So With that said, until next time.
Sorry, I couldn't. You were basically cutting off Smithers for Keto, and I couldn't hear what he was saying. But jumps out, motherfucker.